good to be with you. How long has it been that we have actually known each other?
I think this is our third year.
Third year.
Since, yeah, from 2019.
Was it only 2019?
Yeah, it was on May. It was on 2019 May. Facebook, I was sharing this piece awareness information. Then I came across your post. I was using my hashtag, piece awareness.
Okay, so we had met because when I was a John Maxwell team program coordinator, we had met back in 2017 and we had connected, but then we used the same hashtags, and then that was when I came onto your radar, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. It was helpful and I've really learned a lot. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, Brian, you're doing a tremendous amount of good in this world. You've got motivated mindsets in Africa as the nonprofit foundation that you founded. And that was what drew you to be interested in the John Maxwell team program in the first place, which I was helping to promote and sell at the time. So you didn't end up enrolling in the program, but we stayed connected all of these years later. And you are truly a leader in your own right. You are running a dance academy with other young ones in your village in Africa. And Brian, truly, it's an honor to have watched your journey over the last few years, because you've been pushing this really well. I've been very, very impressed. And so, yeah, it's been quite a journey to watch. It's been quite a journey to be part of. And you've been through a lot of your own experiences. Like my light situation has just drastically changed in the last paragraph. So seriously, you got to tell people about your story and how you're able to be who you are and do what you're doing, and how you are truly, literally shining your light in this world. Brian, look at your picture. My God, like literally, you're glowing.
Thank you. I started introducing myself. I am a humanitarian and also a social impact, a social impact. You can take it back to humanitarian. I developed passion in dancing after my college life, after I had graduated. That was back in 2018, December. But then when we last met with you, I was managing my own music studio, which at that time was collapsing. I literally just stopped about production since it was my area of interest, but I had no passion in it. But I had some few friends who I was managing that gave up in music. Currently, I'm working with the dancers and the charity World Motivator Mindsets in Africa program. So I'm trying to find solutions to our local problems in terms of having a resource center to manage these projects here in my home. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, Africa. So putting resources together to make sure that there is a program that will impact the life of the dancers, especially now that I'm dealing with the young ones. I'm mentoring the motivator mindset dancers, which came about after the launching of motivator mindsets in Africa. That was in 2019 when I officially started the project. Yeah. I just want to explain brief about motivator mindsets in Africa. It's much of exploring opportunities and empowering communities. Yeah.
It's less about information and more about communities.
Yeah.
I love that. So it's actually about the people that have the information that need to connect in order for that information to be shared. So like the monkey effect.
Pardon?
So like the 100th monkey effect.
Yeah.
Do you know that story? About the monkeys on the island that were being given sweet potatoes on the beach, And then one day, one of the sweet potatoes rolled into the water, and a monkey chased after it and washed the water off, and then ate it, and then noticed it didn't have grit in its teeth because it was washed then. So it told all of its monkey friends, who told their monkey friends, who told their monkey friends. And then when the 100th monkey was told about washing the sweet potatoes, suddenly it was as if it was in the collective consciousness, and then all monkeys everywhere knew to wash their sweet potatoes, which is kind of symbolic for what's going on here, in the fact that we really need to be the monkeys in the experiment that tell one another the good stuff, which is really what the Peaceful Inner Warriors United movement's all about. It's what your motivated mindsets, it's motivated mindsets in Africa, or just motivated mindsets Africa? Motivated mindsets in Africa or motivated mindsets Africa?
It's motivated mindsets in Africa.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Because even that little small distinction makes such a huge difference in the legal realm. And it's like, if we don't understand law, then it's like you've known me the whole time. I've been through some pretty crazy adventures, and I called you, and like I was letting you know what was going on when I was going through like my awakening. Do you remember what that was like? And what was it like for you to be in Africa, hearing from your Canadian connection who's going crazy, but like making a lot of profound sense?
Let me say, at first I was shocked. And I was really shocked and at the same time surprised. You were seeking solutions on my far end, and I literally had no idea about what I can go about it. So I was just freaking and trying to provide solutions which I could provide.
And you actually contacted one of the embassies, I think, for me on my behalf, like what I had asked you to do, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I
contacted them at you.
You pardon?
I had contacted them. I was really willing to help, especially that you impacted my life in a positive way. I really wanted to pay you back at that time, yeah.
I know, and I am so grateful, Brian, honestly. Like when you talk about connecting communities more than information, the greatest thing that I think we're all overlooking is the fact we've been told we need to connect the dots for how long? For generations. It's just one of the stories. But what we don't ever actually think when we are told connect the dots is that people are lighthouses. We are actually the dots that are meant to be connected, which is then how the information actually makes its way to connect, to fill in the whole picture. So that is really my interpretation of what you've just shared about the importance of community and passing on of information and mentorship in that experience. And you've got an incredible team that you've created with Motivated Mindsets in Africa. And so I would love for you to actually be able to share how the involvement and access to the experience that you and your dance team are creating for young ones is actually impacting the community, Brian.
Okay, I would like first to start with the Motivated Mindsets in Africa. This is the mother organization that I formed that is basically dealing with the empowering of the communities. We do have the street feeding programs whereby we partner with the Asian community that supplies us with the already cooked meals that we serve their community. We only act as a link to them for them to reach out to our community. So they use us to do the donations. And number two, about the young people, the Motivated Mindset dancers, we've used the dancers to at least bring a hope and light to the community. Everyone likes entertainment, especially from the kids. So anytime people see the kids, they want to come and be part of this project. And I believe entertainment is one thing that is uniting the whole world, especially during this time of pandemic. So most people come on board, and at least we offer them the mentorship programs and also get to network on how we can be solution problems. We can be solution providers to our local problems and also seek for international solutions where we cannot manage. So I can agree that the motivator mindset dancers, especially this young project for the dancers, is really doing well, especially now that we've garnered and won 3 awards since it started.
You've won 3 awards since you started. And when did you get started, Brian?
The dance crew started last year on May, the kids dance crew, motivator mindset dancers.
May 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
So you actually started a dance team during the pandemic that is a greater success than what many of the ones that were formed beforehand and then had to break up and follow rules, because instead of actually following the rules, you saw a need and then fulfilled that need. So you actually acted as a vessel.
Yeah. Number one, I realized that there is a lot of idleness, especially after the schools are closed. You can understand how the slum is, especially what the kids can get involved in. We've got the social vices that are uncontrollable, especially when now everything came on hold. So I had to really think fast and see how we could help the kids. So I had to form this dance group since and also have passion in dance and I'm a choreographer. It was the right time for me to exercise my skills after even I had lost my job as a tour team building coach in a tourism company. So I had to really think fast and think of what I could do. So I formed the dance group and started training the kids while I was at home. So I utilized that my time and formed this dance group. And God has been faithful, and we managed to win the award, the 3 awards that we won.
The which you were looking for?
Yeah. Number one, we won our first award was the Fame Award, Fresh Entry Music Award, which we won as the best dance group in Kenya. And our second award was the Madare Festivals, which was the best dance group in our slum. And the third one was the Africa Kids Award, which we won 2021 this year as the best dance group in Africa.
Wow, good for you, Brian.
Thank you.
And then you don't just keep it focused on dance alone. You also bring in personal growth and development. You bring in getting the dancers involved in other projects. So you're actually giving them leadership opportunities. I remember you've reached out to me because you really need an apprentice.
I believe in leadership, and 90% of my life has been run around leadership. So I've been working on ways in which I can impact these virtues into them. So I created a system that at least accommodate the dancers holistically, where they can develop personally and also economically. That's why I came up with the Slum Motivation Tour program, where we do slum visits from different slums. I'm from the slums of Madare, so we've got different slums in our city. We travel with them, let them learn from other people and see how the world is, and also they can also learn how to relate with others and at least express themselves to the world.
So you're taking your dancers from the slums where you all call home to other slums locally to instill the passion and enthusiasm, authenticity, clarity of vision, and encouragement to know that there are already ones doing it so they can do it too.
Exactly, yeah.
You're truly a people warrior.
I believe in education, empowerment, and exposure. The 3 E's. So anytime I do the slum motivation tours, making them meet different people from different slums, I can assure you that they are getting different perspectives of life. especially now that they see that they're not supporting, but it's required. What is required from them is just to work on their skills and also the education for them to achieve greater heights, as we've done with the success of the dance school. We prove this fact through the award that we've garnered for this short period we've been with them.
I cannot get over how much of a light worker you are, simply not just by what you're doing in this world, Brian, but by the camera and how it's reacting with things that are being said. It's just like we are literally being lit up. You are glowing and you're wearing the color of yellow, which is the solar plexus, the creativity, the center of being able to actually express yourself. It's willpower, it's self-esteem. Like, it's the gut when you feel like you get kicked in the gut because you've been betrayed. It's like the self-esteem account that literally you are wearing with your brand on top of it. And it's just like, you are such an inspiration, and your heart for leadership and doing it right and doing it well is so obvious, and it has been to me since we first connected, Brian. I am truly so grateful that you've stayed connected and you've reached out and asked for leadership or for guidance on a few occasions. And, you know, I responded because you called and asked, and because you didn't take advantage of it and try to, you know, just have energy sucks, you know, with like a, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? And, you know, the conversation that ultimately doesn't really go anywhere, which I call kind of time suck or energy suck conversations. It's like when you reached out to me, it's just like you reached out and it's just like, hey, I'm dealing with this and this is going on and I am not quite sure about this. Any insights? It's just like, yes, I can work with that. Like, I can send you back a voice memo really quick, or we can schedule a conversation where we can dig into what you've just been really specific about. But it's just like those wandering generalities are really difficult for me to address sometimes with a lot of people that reach out, because it's like, if you're not offering anything other than asking for my time without letting me know why you want it, what you're looking for, any of those details, it makes it really difficult for me to be able to discern whether to offer you my time when I've got so many other people that are, you know, also asking for time, energy, effort, attention, money, our team players, as they do. And it's just like, I say all of this because I think that it's a really important conversation to have. And then also on top of that, the fact that you've been connected, you've asked questions, you've dared to, you know, actually state your intentions and get specific about what you're after, and then being willing to actually follow through with some of what was offered. And so I would love if you would kind of share with me and those who listen back what one of the biggest pieces of wisdom or nuggets that I've personally gifted you in one of those exchanges that really helped you. I'd love to know. And I feel like other people that might be wondering why I am a qualified guide in this process of becoming a Peaceful Inner Warrior United may be really useful for them to make their decision as to whether they want to come along on the journey too.
And number one, I'll start by appreciating you really mentored me directly and indirectly. And you helped me in terms of brand management. At first, I never knew what branding was. Pushing the brand for people to understand and see what I was really doing. I really appreciate that. And number two, you personally helped me in personal development, especially the inner warrior. I can now manage my inner circle now that I'm also into other people's circles, at least impacting their life. The Inner Warrior project has really helped me. I've been able to manage my stress. Sometimes I can remember a few days ago, we were talking about ego. I was trying to understand the world of the ego at least. Yeah. It helped me know how to manage it and how it affects me sometimes. So I was really proud. I really went down and thought about it. And so on the and thought about ways in which I could solve it. Because I never knew I had it. And with time I came to realize that it was really something that was affecting me, since I had not accepted that it was there. The best thing in solving a problem, you need to accept that it's there. So I had to work on it. Uh, Another thing I can really appreciate is in terms of the brave warrior. There are so many challenges that comes along with leadership, and I've been able to face them with all the knowledge that you've given me about the inner warrior. I've been following your posts, in fact, and I'm really learning a lot. I've garnered a lot in terms of the vision power, the power of the heart, and also the skills of how managing my body, just keeping fit. The yoga sessions, I've really learned a lot from following them. You've just been an holistic person, and I've really enjoyed that. From the spiritual realm to financial to economical, really enjoyed that. Yeah, you're like a god mom to me, and I'm really appreciating that.
Yay! I'm so glad. Thank you, Brian. And I love that you are one that actually takes action. So it's like you show up, you get something, and then you actually run with it and put it to use, and then you come back and report, which is exactly what is actually the most important 6 letters of the law of attraction. It's like if you want to attract it to you, you've got to take action in order to actually be able to get that which you desire to attract. So it's just like sometimes we also have to know when we're chasing something that's also chasing us. And it's just like sometimes when that is happening, we've really got to understand how to kind of slow down so that what we were actually chasing can just catch up, because it's chasing us and we're running the long way to catch it. And it's like that loop of continually chasing that which is also chasing us. So I feel like that's a message, and I don't have any idea specifically why, but I just offer that to you because it came through. But then I feel like there are times in our lives where it's like we're chasing something super hard and it's also chasing us. And it's like when we finally slow down, not because we've given up, but just because we've decided to actually relax, recharge, bring some fun into our lives, rejuvenate, then what we were seeking actually has a chance to catch up with us because we're open to it then.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's an example specifically that you could share of your life where you were chasing something super hard, and then instead of, putting all of your energy, time, effort, attention, and money into that thing, you actually decided to give back to yourself a little bit and focus on you and refilling your cup. And then suddenly that thing that you took your eye off the prize in order to just recharge and rejuvenate yourself in order to pursue suddenly catches up with you, and it's all happening at the same time. And it's just like, holy wow, like I just actually just took some time to look after me, and then all of a sudden what I wanted showed up.
Let me say, in terms of voicing out my messages for peace, I'm a peace ambassador, so I was really caught up with posting messages of peace, and you really summarized my entire idea from your post. And I was really happy at least to connect with somebody who understands what you want to put out there. Especially by that time, our country was under crisis. There was these issues of tribalism, so I was really struggling to come up with maximum number of content, so many content relating to peace. So when I came across your post as I had used my hashtag, which you popped up during that time that you were emphasizing on inner peace warrior, I really learned a lot, and this could break up the points for people to understand better on the need for peace. And this message really reached a very large crowd, and I was super happy. At least I could get positive feedback from people. Now that at least I was getting backup mega idea from you, and I really appreciate that. It really isn't my desire, yes, to pour out more that I wanted with the people that I was targeting.
Right.
Yeah, things were falling into place. Yeah.
So basically, you figured out what you wanted, and then you looked for the hashtags around that which you were seeking because you started to understand that brand really mattered. And then you found my work and others who were talking about what it means to be a peaceful inner warrior united or something around that. And then you reshared it
Yeah.
and then used that motivational content in order to create lessons for the dancers that you are empowering to be able to not just dance on the dance floor, but to actually be able to dance through their life ecstatically.
Yes.
Are you involved with the ecstatic dance movement at all?
I don't really understand what ecstatic moment is. Could you break
Ecstatic
it down?
ecstatic movement is freestyle movement. So basically,
Oh, wow.
it's dancing ecstatically means very individualistically and without a routine of any kind or planning. It's just full out freestyle.
Uh, yes, I do that. Mostly for entertainment purposes. I like dancing mostly indoors, mostly for entertainment purposes. I like to. My dance move sounds funny. So many people they mostly say that it's funny. But when it comes to dancers, I teach choreo, mostly competition routines, and lyrical dance moves. Have you heard about lyrical? Do you know about lyrical dance?
Lyrical dance?
Yeah, do you know about it?
No, but evidently I should.
Yeah, I do train the lyrical dance and a little of hip hop, but I'm much into the lyrical dance. That's why you spot so many lyrical dance moves in our YouTube channel. The dancers,
Really? So
yeah,
what is lyrical
yeah.
dance?
Lyrical dance is trying to dance the words which they're being sung in the song.
Dance the words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just flow with the words. Yeah,
that.
it's like ballet. Yeah,
It's like what?
it's like the ballet, but it's not it actually. Contemporary dance.
Oh, wow. That's going to be so beautiful when your dancers do lyrical dance moves for album 22, which is going to be launching July 22nd. So we're so excited to have Motivated Mindsets in Africa's dance team doing all of the lyrical dance moves and choreographed routines and whatever magic is planned for these 22 songs. These guys, this man particularly, leading a team of incredible young people that we're going to get onto the show so that we can interview them about their experience of actually listening to the lyrics of album 22 and really getting into it to be able to really use the message that's in the song outside of the dance floor as well, but to be able to feel it to the level of being able to just show it in the moment as well. So I'm so excited, Brian, for you to be leading your team through that process. I'm so excited to see your performance. Everyone on the Motivated Mindsets dance team, thank you in advance for the amazing work that you're going to do and all of the energy, effort, time, attention, money you put into being able to actually do what takes maybe 5-10 minutes and then everybody claps and everything that you've put into being ready for those 5 minutes is done. Thank you for all of that to make that worth it. Thank you, because anyone that is an artist understands, or a parent, a pregnant mama, understand like there's a gestation time period to dreams. And it's like that baby is festering inside of us all right now. And it's been in here with Jared Wade in creating album 22 since December 2020 in the first place. Now it's July 2nd. And you've done quite a lot with Jared Wade and Mad Hatter's music already, Brian. So a phenomenal contact that came because we're connected. And so I'm so glad that you're meeting other awesome people. And what I would love is for anyone listening to this interview, I appreciate the audio has been a bit difficult because of the technology. So I don't know what to do about that, but we'll have to figure it out because truly, Brian, you are a leader, you are a star, you are a rising star, you are someone that is really inspiring a lot of people, some of which are the ones working directly with you and learning from you because of what you're doing in your community. And then a lot more that are watching vicariously through your posts, through interviews like today, through the dance routines that you guys are going to create for album 22, the next project that we're going to do in the fall, the one after. It's like, as an artist, it never stops. It's just like your one creative baby kind of comes to term, and then you start your next one. And it's just like you're constantly in that process of preparing. And in August, you've actually got a competition that is coming up, Brian. I would love for you to be able to tell people about why it's so important for them to actually vote for Motivated Mindset's dance team.
Yeah, we are aiming to be nominated for the MTM Awards, which will be in UK. And we wanted people to be on toes and just keep us watching. We want them to vote for us coming July. The nominations will be open on April. So currently we are waiting for the nominations form, which I've received today. I'll be filling them and I'll be sending them back today tonight. So I'll urge everyone who will be watching us to at least vote for us. We've come from a long way, from winning the FEM Awards to Africa Kids Award. Now we are eyeing for the MTM Awards, which will be in UK. We are hoping to represent our continent in the UK, and I will deeply be proud and happy to see everyone support us, and I appreciate. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope that you who are watching do choose to support Brian Otieno Oweno and his Motivated Mindsets in Africa nonprofit, the dance team, and all of the great stuff that is going on in Kenya because of this fabulous young man. You're in your early 20s, so truly a millennial, and you're rising above the crowd because you're willing to actually put in the effort for the greater good, not just for yourself. So thank you for breaking the myth, the stereotype. Thank you for being a leader who is in it to win it for the whole rather than just the one. And thank you for ultimately being who you are in this world, Brian, truly.
Yeah. Before anything, I just wanted to let you know the opportunities that we are eyeing for currently. As a dance crew, we've got our major goal, or the ultimate goal as a dance crew. We wanted to take part on the hip hop international competition. We are really eyeing for that. If everything goes well, and the world of dance, we want to represent the entire world in the world of dance also. And we are also eyeing to maybe partner and collaborate in the nearer future in the Western festivals now. If there is anyone who has got the links for us to take part in those competitions, we'll be really proud and happy. So just want to tell the world to keep on supporting us and watching, and also subscribe on our YouTube channel. We've got a lot coming on board, and we're also cooking a lot in the kitchen with our audios. Yeah.
Amazing. So definitely Motivated Mindsets in Africa is your YouTube channel name. So look that up.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find videos of his dancers and what else is going on in the Kenyan slums, where you've got some amazing people that just happened to start there. And ultimately, the cool thing is, like, we're connecting all over. It's like we need lighthouses all over this world, and you're a huge lighthouse where you are, Brian, and you're doing such an incredible job. And I tell you this regularly because I feel like you need it, because of what you see. Like, in all honesty, it's not really good where you are right now. Am I right? With COVID and with the lockdowns and
Yeah.
with poverty and people starving, and like, that's real.
Yeah, it's real. Currently we can't do the street feeding program. People have been told not to gather. You can only gather in groups of 10. And as you can see, where there is food, there is commotion. So we've literally stopped it to avoid being arrested. So currently what we do is just do door-to-door donation where we can with the street feeding program, and also the mass donation. But currently we can't do the street feeding program as we used to do before.
So the feeding program is not as easy to do because now you're limited to groups of 10 in a space, whereas previously, how many did you have in that space?
Pardon?
How many did you have in the space before there was a max of 10 given to how many could gather? Like, how many people would normally show up to the food programs?
We used to feed about 500 people.
500?
Yeah, we used to feed 500 people. So the distributors of the hot meals used to serve the hot meals and the fruits. Yeah, so after the pandemic and the government, those World Health Organizations guidelines that were given. So among which our government restricted gatherings, public gatherings. And now we are much into the door-to-door delivery, which is now a challenge. Most people are not real. To get the key people who are really suffering or who are in need of the food is a major challenge. As for the before, which we used to do our analysis and to research to find the right people who need the food.
I don't know why the sound quality is so poor right there, but as you were sharing that, Brian, that was just the thought that came into my mind. And it's just like, right now we have to be very mindful about the AI component of COVID-19, because there really is an agenda going on here that is so covert and deceptive that we don't even have the comprehension to understand that everything will be held against us if we don't understand our rights. If we don't know our rights, we won't have any rights. And it's just like, you know, we have so much to lose and so much to gain if we are willing to do what people like Brian are doing, people like myself, ones who are willing to see a need and then say, okay, let's address this need, or that can foresee a need because you've been there, because you've been marinating in the crock pot of growth for years, and now have an opportunity to be able to say to the ones that are getting thrown into the frying pan, like, hey, it gets better. Like, oh, I don't know what it's like to go through the frying pan. Like, that must be a really bad experience. Like, at least the back burner, it's just like we became like the frog that got cooked slowly, so didn't really realize that it was getting cooked, compared to the one that, you know, was getting cooked and like all of it going up at the same time in smoke. And it's just like, that's a really more painful situation than the one that's been in the crock pot. The one in the crock pot, like, you know, you just like, it's a deeper marination, but at the same time, like, both die in the end unless we like actually keep going. It's just like that's the difference, I think, between spending and investing. You've heard the difference between that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's just like you
Yeah.
spend it and you use it the once, or do you invest and then get the return? And it's just like John Maxwell says that you can pay up front and then play later, or you can play now and pay later. But it's just like that's really how our interest develops. It's just like if we pay up front, it's like we can play later and everything's looked after. But if we choose to play now and put it on credit, then we got to pay for that, which generally we've already enjoyed and now have to be an obligation to pay for because we were irresponsible with spending it, which is the dysfunctional and functional creative spectrums that you seem to really work within well, and to really be able to sense when you're going outside of your functional range. From my perspective of being one you kind of reach out to when you're kind of veering on the outer edge of dysfunction or toward that spectrum, it's like when so irresponsibility and obligation are the dysfunctional experiences of constraint and freedom. You cannot be free if you don't have constraints, right? So we need constraints in order to be free. But irresponsibility feels very free because you're spending what you don't have, but then you're in obligation to pay for that which you already enjoyed. So it feels very free, but then when we do that free thing, then we're constrained to have to pay for that which we didn't actually need to get when we did it specifically. And then furthermore, did we deserve it? And was it even good for us? And these are all the questions we kind of ask in retrospect, which is unfortunately where a lot of people are going to be in the months and years to come, and paying for, what they've taken into their body, because it's, how to get things back to normal. It's just like, well, I'm sorry, normal doesn't really exist anymore. It's just the normal that we're creating, which is going to be a different normal anyway. Right? So it's just like that whole search for that quest for safety. Like, do you know anybody, Brian, that's made it safely out of life alive?
No.
Right?
No.
It's just like none of us
Yeah.
safely out of life alive. And yet this whole campaign is about stay safe. And it's just like, I stay significant. Like none of us make it safe out of life alive. But
Yeah.
you can make it significantly out of
Never
life.
thought of that.
Hmm?
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love you, Brian. I'm so excited for what we're going to be able to do with Album 22, with Motivated Mindsets in Africa dance team. Thank you to all the dancers, to all the parents of the dancers, to the community, to everyone who is watching this and may want to actually put Motivated Mindsets dance team to a challenge. You can definitely reach out to Brian and have some good-hearted fun to be able to build community, build connections, build network, build teamwork, be able to really be human fully, to be men and women the way that we're meant to be, and to claim back our rights, and to learn from people that are further down the track to where we are in areas that we understand are important, just don't have the time to invest into getting where they got over all the years of study that they took to be able to do what now we'll be able to do faster, because we actually learned from what they learned from their experience going through the years it took for them to be able to do that thing that they did seemingly no problem. It's just like, that thing that they say about, there's a woman that was at a coffee shop and she ran into Picasso and said, "Oh, Picasso, can you draw me a sketch, please?" And then so he drew up a quick little sketch, 30 seconds, then he handed it to her and he's like, "That'll be $3 million, please." She's like, $3 million. Like, that took you like 30 seconds. Like, how could you, but I know you're famous, but like, come on, like, we're in a coffee shop. And he's just like, yeah, but it took me 30 years to be able to do that in 30 seconds. $3 million, please. So I feel like that's going to be a story that we're saying about you one day in what you're working on as a leader. And even if it's not being able to put it onto a little piece of paper at a coffee shop, but it's the community legacy, the connections, the all the people that are dancing and having a smile on their face because of the smiles that are on the face of your dancers. Like, thank you for being willing to do what it took for you to become who you are, Brian. Thank you.
Also, thank you very much for being a mom to my life, and thank you for all the lessons. And before I forget, receive much greetings from my parents also. Receive
Beautiful.
greetings from my parents,
Thank you.
uh, the dancers, and also the community. They really appreciate what you're doing to me.
I love it. Ah, yay, that's so exciting. Can you see if you can gather your people on July 22nd and do a show, or to not even do a show specifically, but to like make it so that we can have everybody come on? Like, is July 22nd reasonable for you to have everybody do a dance routine? For like, is that enough time to do the dance routines for the launch?